Today we're going to talk about something not so exciting, if I'm being honest. Let's talk about the current state of EA NHL. Now, when I go ahead and experience a game, I look at it in like this three-way system. And in that system, what I think about is presentation, gameplay, and experience. Now, really, I want to talk about the differences from last year's NHL 23 compared to this year's NHL 24, and we'll get into that in a moment, but quickly to break down what I mean. Firstly, presentation. Now, the first impression that any video game will make on you is the second you open that game up on your console, what is that presentation like? That's going to make the very first impression. In NHL 24, it's great. You got Cale Makar on the cover, the transition is great. You go into the menu, and it's the exact same as NHL 23, and it's the exact same as NHL 22. Now, I don't even remember what 21's menu was like, but I'm pretty sure it was the same. So it makes me wonder, these creators, do they even open up these games and play these games before they push them out? Because it's the exact same. Like, without question, this is one of the sole reasons that people think that these games are just recycled, right? And it's very fair to say, because the second you open this game up, starting at the front menu, with the way you navigate the menu, the sounds in the menu, how laggy the menu is, this is the first experience that you will get in the NHL game, and it's not a very good one. It's the exact same experience you would get if you played NHL 23 and NHL 22. And this is why these games take heat from the start, because from the start, when you open up these games, it's the exact same as the year before, and that's an issue. So presentation, the overall presentation of this game, from the menu to hitting play now, play a game, play online, every single menu, every single sound, every single camera transition into playing a game and goal, other than the new goal animation, everything is the exact same, okay? Presentation is a very important part of these video games, and I don't know if they have a head of presentation at EA, but if they do, with all due respect, that person needs to be either fired or need to be briefed on how to make presentation more important in these NHL games. Moving on to gameplay. Gameplay is obviously very important, and I'm going to be honest with you. NHL 24's gameplay is not bad. I'm actually finding it a challenge to be good at this year. From NHL 20 to NHL 24, this was the biggest leap in overall gameplay that we've seen. I think there's a little bit more to learn, and other than the fact that they have the terrible system where you can do any deke at the push of a button, that's awful, okay? I don't know why they add that into the game. Other than that, the gameplay is actually a bit more challenging this year, and I can honestly say that. So gameplay for me, it's a thumbs up. The problem is the gameplay is sandwiched between two very important factors in video games, okay? Presentation, gameplay, and lastly, we have experience. The overall experience of a game. The overall experience of NHL 24 couldn't be more identical to NHL 23. I play a lot of online versus. I play a lot of Hockey Ultimate Team. And between those two game modes alone, that's where most people play these NHL games, okay? That's where most of the crowd is going to be, and Hockey Ultimate Team being probably where people spend most of their time. And again, the second you hop into the menu, it's the exact same. Navigating through the menu, the exact same. It's a real problem. You can't just make some altered changes to gameplay and expect to push out a new game and expect people to not be upset, okay? People are upset for a very valid reason, and I think that's important. Throughout this video, you've seen some clips back and forth comparing the two games, but I think it's really important to note what caused this, okay? What causes these games to lack innovation? Because that's what they ultimately do. They lack extreme innovation. And what I think that is I think that the EA team is just so behind the ball as far as technology goes in making these hockey games. Now, I'll be honest, this goes for all sports games. This goes for the FIFA series, which is now known as FC. This goes for Madden, and this goes for the NHL. And this also goes for the 2K series, because they're struggling over there as far as keeping people interested, because the games are also so similar. I think where the NHL series is struggling though, they're holding on to these past gen gamers so heavily and relying on them so heavily that they're not able to make a game to use these new consoles and their capabilities. They're holding on to the PlayStation 4 and the older Xbox users so that they can keep that crowd and make that money. That's what's happening, okay? Like, this is pure speculation, but this is the only thing that makes sense. Between that and how much money they're making in Hockey Ultimate Team, they're lacking innovation on a scale that it's just embarrassing. If you play these games and you firmly can believe and feel that they're different enough, that's great, okay? I'm not one of those people, and most people are not on that side. These games need innovation. Okay, and the only way they're going to be able to really innovate if they use the new consoles to their full capabilities. We are seeing it in other games. Spider-Man 2 is about to come out, and they're talking about how they're able to really use the full capabilities of the SSD and the power of the actual PlayStation to make a better game.
We of course use the SSD and the storage solution on the console to really even more affect gameplay wise. You know, in the first couple Spider-Man games, we really used it to get rid of the loading screens, but now you see it getting used to offer faster traversal through the world.
And NHL is not doing that. They make little changes, they alter the game a little bit, they push out a brand new game, they make all that money, and it's the same thing next year. They're gonna start fixing the game in June probably, make very slight changes, and then in October we're gonna see NHL 25, and we're probably gonna see the same game. This game just came out, and I don't even know what to do, because it's like, yeah, I'm playing these games, and I'm making videos on these games, but it is heartbreaking to see this series fall as hard as it has, because people love hockey, and ultimately this is all we have. This is all we have for hockey games, is EA NHL. It really sucks that these games are so bad. So I feel like if you've clicked on this video, you're probably on the same boat as me. Comment below if you have any thoughts on this issue, if you think there's anywhere that this series can really improve. I know there's specific changes we would like to see. Most of these game modes are the exact same year after year. They're literally the exact same. And even just saying that, I'm like, how are they the same? How is Be A Pro the same? Franchise, GM, all this junk, it's all the same. There's no changes to them. And then they make big deals of like eShell, like adding things in eShell and like jerseys and visors. You guys are wasting your time, okay? We can see through all the BS. This game is failing miserably, and you're getting bank loads of money because Hockey Ultimate Team, people spend all that money, and you're continuing to ruin even that. I really hope we see some positive change in this series because it's struggling, and I love hockey, so it's sad to see.